everyone, welcome back to Topical Juice. I am your host Savannah or Sav, and today I am joined by a very, very, very special guest. They
Yeah.
are a dear, dear friend of mine. We go back
Way
to
back.
way back
Way
to
back.
Brit. This is, in fact, my good pal Ryn.
Woo!
Everyone, yes, Ryn time, yes.
Hello everyone. It's a pleasure.
Ryn, Ryn, why don't you introduce yourself?
Everyone, I'm Ryn. Um, I know Sav from Brit. I go Lambda. I'm in my second year right now, and I'm studying acting. And yeah, woo!
Big Slay. What are your pronouns, Ryn?
Hey, she.
Hell yeah. Not only is Ryn a friend of mine, and not only is Ryn a hashtag always Brit person,
That's like always.
Ryn has also been in a couple of things. Ryn, what have you been in?
What do you mean? Okay. The Netflix show. I was recently in that. Recently in
Yes,
the Pentaveret. Shout out.
yes,
Go watch it on Netflix. And that's it.
yes.
Woohoo!
Okay, Ryn and I are about to get into it. So today's topic that we're going to be discussing is tokenism, and that's like a really broad. I feel like that's like a broad topic.
Yeah, it
Like
is.
you can talk about so many things. You can talk about it in like the acting world, or you could talk about it just in like general. I feel like whether or not you call it tokenism or
Yeah.
not, or like lack of diversity, it's there. So Ryn, why don't you start on your like thoughts on, I don't know, I guess tokenism as a whole. You can talk about something specific or
It's so interesting because I think it's a really sticky subject, tokenism, because it's like you want opportunities for Black people, but you don't want it to be disingenuous. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's hard to be like, oh, it's a tokenism, but at least they're there. Do you know what I mean? It's so
Mm.
hard. It's so hard. So normally I'm like, I can't like I've had loads of talks about people and they're like with people and they're like, oh no, they only got in just because they're Black and whatever. And then I'd be like, great, I don't give a fuck. Carry on. Let them get
Literally.
further. I actually did like there's a point where I'm like, it's shit, but what else can we do?
Yeah,
That's like
I feel like when you talk to the majority of like whatever you're in or wherever you are, when you talk to the majority like of people, like for example, if I'm in a majority white class or production or whatever, I'm talking to a white person about being a token. There seems to be such a lack of like nuance in that discussion because it's always like, oh yeah, but didn't you guys want to be in stuff? And now you're in stuff and you're complaining. And I feel like what people don't realize is that that is not even the bare minimum.
literally, yeah.
Like not even the bare and you see it like this can be covered in so many different topics, but it always boils back down to being put in like a box and people feeling like you can only portray the Black struggle or or just any role that is written specifically for you. And the moment that you're in something like a bit different, it's always, oh well,
That's a
they needed somebody like this, so there you are, or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Or you know what I mean? Like it's such a weird thing because like it's when I can remember I remember when we talked about this back in Brit and we were talking about Hamilton casting.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, and I was like, and I was saying, I mean, listen, we were young and silly, and some people had some opinions that I didn't agree with, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because, and also I think there's an ignorance to it, I think, personally. And to people who have absolutely no idea what it feels like to be said token or said minority. So they're very like, what's wrong? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, we can explain it as much as we want, but you will never understand it.
This is the thing. And like you I feel like people nowadays, right? It's like people like you see like open calls on like Twitter or social media or whatever, and it's like they phrase it so weirdly. They're like, we're looking for the global majority, or we're looking for this and this. And it's
Mm.
like people are now turning around and they're saying, oh, there's never like anything for me anymore, like blah blah. And I'm like, at the end of the day, you can always fall back on what's popular. You can always
At the end,
apply for that.
well, at the end of the day, this entire industry was built for you, but go off, I guess.
Exactly, literally pop all the way off. And it's in drama school as well. I cannot tell you how tiring it is hearing comments like, "Oh, well, you're only getting in because, they want black people now. That's why you got in." It's like, "Oh yeah, no, I forgot that I have actually got no talent, but my black skin was enough
Damn.
for Mount View.
Yeah,
In Peckham couldn't possibly find anyone else. Like they needed a black person desperately, and they thought she'll do.
she'll do.
Stupid.
Great.
Great.
Literally, it's such a yeah. Even when people say that, I'm like, good, great. I don't care.
In it,
But
yeah. Take that with Mountain View if you're bothered, or take that with Lambda if you're bothered.
Not bothered, please. And I think
Yeah.
the diversity in Lambda, I think, is the most I've ever seen.
Really?
Like, yeah, my class is so diverse. The school is so diverse, and it's so refreshing from the teachers to the students, and it's beautiful. It's so nice. Do you know what I mean?
That I wish I could say the same. There are some people who aren't white. Okay, absolutely no disrespect to my year, but there's a picture that I always reference when people ask me how diverse Mount View are. It's my year split in half. when we had like our very first tour day, it's our year split in half, and it's like everybody, and then me at the end, like that, and we're stood outside like the windows with like BLM plastered all over it, and like a big picture of like, I don't know, Idris Elba on like the wall, and it's just me.
Well, at least there's someone. Sometimes you just have to be like, go Sam. You're actually, no lie, the amount of, and that's another thing, the amount of pressure that you hold being the only black, do you know what I mean? And that's a whole another thing of how, because we're in it, it's like, bet, okay, I'm gonna do this for every single black girl and black non-binary person in the planet right now who wants to be in the drama school. Who am I representing them? Me. And you know how stressful that is.
Literally, you know how wild it is going to like drama. I had this at Brit as well, when people are like, you're my first black person, and I'm like, this is the 21st century. What? And it's like, I'm a bit different anyway. I can't be I can't be the spokesperson for the black community.
Shouldn't be. That's not our responsibility.
Literally. It's like, what do you mean baby's first black person? What are you actually talking about?
Baby's first black person. No, it's a bit tragic. Especially I mean if I was, I think, word. It's like, we're like kind of like, if I was me and you were the first person, black people to meet, they'd be so confused when they meet other black people.
This is the thing. When you're like, when there's like one of you and you don't conform to people's like preconceived ideas of what black, especially like for me, what black girls are like, because I don't think I'm what people expect, which is fine because I don't have to be. But people, I think that's the first time when people are like, oh yeah, they can all be different too, which is why, in my opinion, tokenism isn't enough, because especially like within the industry, there needs to be way more black people, if we're talking about us, or just way more people of color, or different people, different like anything, different genders, different abilities behind the scenes, and on the casting panel, and like writing stuff, like, because at the end of the day, these like old straight white able-bodied cis people can try and guess how we sound like and what we need,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be as authentic.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Because it's also made up.
Yeah. And you can tell. You can actually tell.
Oh, you can very much tell. And that's the thing, like, I recently did an audition for a company, which I don't think I will say because I might get sued. And and like everyone who was auditioning looked like me, blah blah blah. It was all like, yeah, okay, cool. For a company that's very much, I don't think this will, let's give it away, who knows? But like it very much for Black people, not for Black people, but like it is very much well known because of the Black people who wear it.
Yeah.
But then I got in the audition and went behind. Everyone's white. I was like, you don't know anything about this experience. Any of you, from the director to the person who wrote the script. I was like, something ain't sitting right. But at the same time, that's the thing. Like my dad always used to say, if you can't see yourself in something, then make it. There's going to be a point where we can't wait any longer. If we wait, there's going to be none of us.
This is the thing. And like I always refer back to this, but because it was so incredible to me. But on the flip side of that, I had an experience where I did like an advert for a hair product like last year, and everybody behind the scenes was a person of color. And I don't just mean Black. There was like Black people, there were South Asian people. It was like amazing. Like the lady who was like doing my hair was Black, and I felt relaxed. I knew she wasn't gonna mess my hair up. She was like giving me tips on she knew like my type of hair down to like way more than I do, because every day I just wake up and hope. But like
them ones,
like everybody cast was a person of color. It was like a Notting Hill Carnival theme, and I've never felt more relaxed and safe because I knew that I was going to be taken care of. Whereas I feel, and that wasn't even explicitly about being Black, but when people are looking for a certain type of person and there's nobody there to kind of take care of you, there's
an uncomfortability of it. You're like, we can't, especially if the story is about me and my culture, how can we discuss that? Because you have no idea. Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
It's an odd one. It's a really odd one. Especially going back to having a Black person do your hair, I think it's key. It's key. It's not even for Black people who do your hair. Just someone who's, because I know for a lot of beauty courses are not trained for other hair types like yours. They're not trained.
They're because it's I don't even know. Is it alternative to them?
I don't fucking know. Is it? Sorry, I shouldn't swear.
No.
It's like, I don't know. It's just like, I can't even think of an excuse for it, really. I mean, we get shunned out of everything, so why not shun us out of hair and makeup? Do you know what I mean?
This is the thing, because like you have to go into an industry having to completely take care of yourself, because the people who do your makeup might not know your complexion well enough, or people doing your hair don't have a clue, so they just burn it off, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what my mum always used to say. She was like, "Oh, make sure you know how to do your hair, because one day you might be on set and no one knows how to do it, so you might have to do it yourself." And I was like,
it's true. Things that people don't even have to think about, you know?
I mean, like, yeah, exactly. I saw this video recently of I think it was a model.
Yeah.
2 people just.
Was that the one where she ended up with like, it was like the long braid, as well as like, I don't want to see like one person of color, or one person like with a different ability, or one person that's not cis, right? I don't want to see the same. I'm so sorry, but I don't want to see the same 3 Black people on repeat. And I get that they're like, you know, they're like when they're in your show, like people are going to watch it. Like if Zendaya's in something, I'm gonna watch it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they shouldn't be the only people that people think of when they see representation, you know?
I 100% agree. It's because they come back to look, really,
Yeah.
which
I
I
think,
think.
yeah, like tokenism is important to stray away from, but that also comes with people being like a bit brave, and like you can be more inventive, not inventive. You can explore more with who you look for. You don't need to rely on the same four people. There are others.
There are
I
so many
promise. I promise there are others.
incredible actors. There are others.
Incredible actors. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's a slow process, but
Yeah.
we're in it.
Well, this just came to my head, but like with the new Little Mermaid that came
Oh
out,
yes,
and
yes,
how
yes.
that's causing uproar.
And it's so funny.
That
And
is just blatant proof that we do need more diversity in absolutely everything. Because
everything.
what do you
'Cause-
mean people are
oh,
like crying, throwing up, punching through the drywall
you know
about
what
a
I
black
mean?
mermaid?
Please, please, please. I've been literally watching all the videos and crying because
Hmm.
I'm like, no, it makes no racism makes no logical sense, especially
No,
this time. She's a fish.
she's
She's a
she's a
mermaid.
fish.
She's a fish.
She's literally a fish.
I'm like, please, for the love of all that is good.
And again, like people be like, you have the one token black princess who, by the way, is a frog for 90% of the movie.
That's another thing.
But that's another podcast for another day. I'm sorry, but is that not blatant proof that tokenism is not good enough?
No,
Because first of all, on our end, we're still getting excited at princesses looking at us, and second of all, on the other end, people are like foaming at the mouth at the idea that their fave is now black. Is played by a different actress. Like I saw this one man making up like science, being like, because she's under the sea, literally, like
doesn't
because she's
exist.
under the sea, she would not be black because the melanin, the sun would not reach her. And I was like, go and do a job, go to work, because literally, like,
You must be so bored.
bored.
Say you're racist and walk home. I don't get it.
Also, we're not solar powered.
First
We're
of all,
black regardless, and also it's the Caribbean Sea, so yes, she would be black.
yes.
And also, she is a fish. She's a mermaid.
It doesn't exist. I'm not in the mood. Yeah, actually, I've been literally like,
Have you seen the mermaids in Harry Potter? No one batted an eyelid at the
what?
mermaids in Harry Potter. They're like gremlins, but the moment she's a black woman, people like.
And also, let's not talk about whitewashed characters throughout Hollywood.
Yeah, let's
Please.
get into
Why?
it.
Let's really talk about why are people from Egypt white? Why are, I don't know, so many black characters? Marvel. Oh, actually.
Go on. Oh no.
Cut this.
Okay, we want to get hired someday in the future, but
I just clocked. I was like, yo.
I want to get hired by Marvel one day in the future.
Word. I really have to sit my
But
mouth.
come on now.
But like, that one Doctor Strange teacher was not supposed to be like.
And for the sake of you know what?
No, that's not. That's for the sake of our careers. But you know what? My favorite child, Craig of the Creek. It has the
Craig of the Creek.
Craig of the Creek. I don't think you guys understand how much I love that TV show so much.
Oh. Also, do you ever have like, how characters sometimes, this is so off topic. This is not the topic at all, but this is
about cartoons.
Like speaking of kids TV shows, do you ever get like those kids shows that like the character isn't black because they're not a race?
Darwin Watterson from
Yeah, but we knew about Darwin. I mean, Milo from the Tweenies.
Oh yeah, no, he had 4C hair. I don't care. He was black. Milo was in fact.
Milo. Who else? Darwin and Milo, I feel like, are the main ones. Elmo.
Yeah.
Elmo.
I also think Knuckles from the Sonic.
Obviously, and Shadow. Shadow goes without saying.
Shadow is light-skinned and I don't care.
Oh my god.
I don't care. I actually don't care.
He actually is. I feel like also, like, it's hard not to have tokens. This is so going like, sorry, this is like my brain going weeple weeple, but like it's so hard not to have tokenism in drama school productions specifically.
Because it's
I feel like I'm very specifically talking about MT as well, because I always observe that acting courses seem to be way more diverse than MT courses. Just an observation, but like therefore it is harder to have no tokenism in a drama school production, because they've already, the way like the system in my brain works is they've already got rid of any type of diversity by how expensive it is to audition, and how anybody from anywhere that isn't London virtually can't get there because they're all held in London, and how expensive the course then is.
I think
do you know what I mean?
Especially on, I think the accessibility within money is such a big thing.
Yeah, and so then like the two non-white people who can somehow, you know, manage to get their way in, bam, you already have your tokens. I feel like drama school needs to be so much more accessible. I could scream this for days and days and days. Drama school needs to be way more accessible financially.
I very much agree.
And this is coming from a person who's juggling 3 jobs to be at Mount View right now. And the thing is, if I left the year group, it would drastically change the diversity.
Yeah, literally. That's the thing. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. Because I always compare Mount View to Lambda, even though they're very different, but also very similar. As in,
yeah, I feel like they kind of give off the same like similar vibe.
Yeah, weirdly the same similar vibe. But in Lambda, like I can remember I was talking to someone, because the thing is, the difference between old Lambda and new Lambda.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Massive. Like I was talking to someone who was like an alumni from like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, what? There's 3 black girls in this class. Like, wait, more than 3? Wait, there's how many of, like, this poor guy was like overwhelmed because he's like this black guy and he was so overwhelmed with how many there was of us. And I was like, surprise.
Literally.
You know? But like, I was like, but it was so weird, like being in it. That's the thing. But the thing is, with Lambda, you get very like in your own bubble. Like this is nice. I'm sitting there with all my mates and all my looking at my year group, like, yeah, this is nice. But it does not reflect the industry. Like,
no. Any parting thoughts, Ryn?
Black History Month in October. Please
start paying up.
Please, as soon as it hits October 1st, thank you.
I want my money coming through.
Meow. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh my god.
Having your doorstep with a basket.
Literally. I want to see my Amazon wish list.
Oh man.
Oh my god. I feel like I had something to say, but it's gone. Just oh yeah, it is Black History Month soon. Please try to watch more than Black struggle films. I don't want to open Netflix and see Viola Davis be violated in 6 different films. I love Viola. My girl deserves better. She's great in those films, but I want to see us be happy.
I just want to see Woman King. That's a fucking. Have you seen the trailer for that?
For what?
Woman King.
Yes.
I auditioned for that. Livid. Livid. But I'm gonna watch it because I love Viola Davis and John Boyega.
Yes. Also stream Jingle Jangle this Christmas, because it's just
Jingle Jangle. I love that.
It's just cute.
It's adorable. And
yeah.
Wow, that was so aggressive. My bad, y'all.
But yeah, big love to everybody. If you have any questions about this podcast, or you disagree or agree with anything I said, drop me an email or like find me roaming the halls. Yeah. Bye everyone.
Yes.